Was it National Parks?
National Park.
Okay. And then, and even in that clip, in that video, he was telling me that Wonder Woman was uh, a dominatrix or something.
Yeah, she was into S&M and pain and suffering and mind control and that type of thing. She was her kind was the good people, and anybody who was not like her was a criminal. Okay, so they were into abduction, kidnapping, uh, bondage, pain and suffering, S&M. I mean, he wasn't into it all. That's that Wonder Woman was in. That's what her whip was. Her whip was about. She wrapped around you, right, and it gets you to tell. You did you see the movie The Wonder Women?
No.
Wonder Women was about um, this guy, Professor Morrison, who was he was a professor, and he was the person who was actually responsible for the comic Wonder Woman. However, it was really about his two wives. One of his wives was Olive Byrne, the daughter of Ethel Byrne, who is the sister of Margaret Sanger. These people don't like, but they were all into eugenics. Okay,
Not eugenics.
and we call it. I ain't gonna say it.
Why not? It's
Yeah,
Planned
we
Parenthood.
call
I
it
went to Planned Parenthood.
we call it Planned Parenthood today. But Planned Parenthood is all about exterminating your womb, right? Which is what Margaret Sanger claimed to be against. You see what I'm saying? She was against abortion, back alley abortions, and infidel people having sex and having babies. So she felt that getting abortion was inhumane. But here, take this pill and abort it like that. That's more humane.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, he did his own extensive study on the history of it. But
Yes.
Another thing, when I was young, I'm just thinking I just liked the show. I didn't know why I liked the show, but I was being programmed and teaching these young women to want to be dominant. And there we have it, right?
You guys should watch the 1973 film Wonder Woman, and look what they're doing in there. They're kidnapping, they're drugging, and they controlling the minds of people. Thanks to Wonder Woman, all thanks to Ethel, or should I say, Olive Byrne. Okay, who is supposedly the image of Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman's hero was none other than Margaret Sanger.
That was her aunt, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was her aunt. Margaret Sanger was her auntie. And I gotta say this.
Everybody should know about Margaret Sanger.
Yeah, I gotta say this.
She was a eugenist. Right?
Yes.
A eugenist.
Yeah, she was a eugenist. Her sister Ethel Byrne was. So was really Mortson. He was really a part of it too. Uh, Definitely Wonder Woman was. She was a eugenist. And you'll find out even Kellogg, Kellogg out of Michigan, all them suckers was involved.
You want to tell them about the other part? Whatever. Don't ask me what you were going to say, but I'm ready to get off of here.
Um, we're going back
I
to.
ain't tired of y'all's company.
We're going back
I'm tired of
to.
this heat.
Yeah, going back to what Olive Byrne who is Wonder Woman, said her hero was. And she said her hero was none other than Margaret Sanger, right? Of course it would be. It's her aunt. However, the other person that made mention of this before, and there's many of them before this, but the woman who carries hot sauce in her pocket, she also mentioned that this woman was one of her heroes.
No way.
Oh
Is
yeah.
she really?
Oh
You guys
yeah.
know who that is?
The one who carried hot sauce in her.
Yeah. I'm asking. You know.
Yeah, they should know. You know what I'm talking
Let's
about.
leave her name out of it. They know.
Yeah.
Y'all know y'all like hot sauce on y'all chicken with some watermelon. Okay.
Oh, she
It's
got
good together too. It's that sweet, salty.
And then I mean, come on, man. It's like it's like in your face, and you don't get it. I don't know what it is that we don't get, but it's right in your face. I don't even know what she said.
They not like us.
Oh, really?
I think Kendrick Lamar. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the young rap. I know the old rap, like the 80s and stuff.
Yeah.
This young stuff is a little hard for me to catch, but when they have a meaning to it, then it sticks to me. Like they not like us. Yeah. I'm trying to tell you something on that one.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about most of them is they know way more than what we know. They're just not going to tell you what they know because they done contracted in. They done contracted in with the devil.
Well, we've been through that already. We're not going there because they trying to get their paper. Good night, y'all. Honors.
So,
y'all, this is so stupid, right? Like when you see yourself, really, really see yourself on camera, it's almost haunting. Grab an apple. It's a pink lady. And my watermelon juice. So I feel like that after my son been enlightening us in our slowness, since they say we're slow. We didn't even give a proper introduction to the channel. We didn't really properly introduce ourselves. So I'm gonna practice doing that, but I just kind of was hoping being on here, being myself. And so welcome y'all to Mom Shay's Life with Family. Family being
Ken, you're kind.
Let me address this, raise this up a little bit. How's that?
You're Ken, you're kind.
You're kinfolk.
Yeah, Ken. Yeah.
Kinfolk.
Yeah. Kindred blood. That's what it is. But
This episode, we want to talk about, I think, the full and final Wonder Woman. Because I said in one of my previous videos,
Wonder Woman. This is sort of like a sequel to Wonder Woman, which is really come from the movie. There was a movie called Wonder Women, based on a true story. I think his name was either Professor Morrison or Marson, or one of them, something like that. Professor Morrison, I think it was, who pretty much he was a professor, and I forgot what it was. It was probably history or English or something like that. But he was also the one who wrote the Wonder Woman story, the comic book one. Anyways, it's a lot. The story of Wonder Woman is really a lot deeper than what it really looks like on the surface, because it's connected to so many different things. You know what I'm saying? If I can start, and so it's a historical line of really what's going on. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this book here.
Yeah, hold it closer.
Yeah, called The Orphan Train. Now, props to Brother Sear, who actually mentioned this book in one of his lectures. And so I went and got the book, and it's a very interesting read. This goes back to like the Department of Orphans, Cabbage Patch children, Cabbage Patch kids, the dolls and all that stuff. So this is kind of like connected to it, but it's also, if you read it, it's connected to current employment today. So you got to read the book.
Yeah, go get the book.
Yeah, because it's talking about the railroad, and if you know anything about the railroad, you know you're working for the railroad today. But anyways, so the history started coming from that, because there was a lot of in the late 1800s, there was a lot of people invading this land here, and they was coming from everywhere. So when they got here, a lot of them, their children ended up homeless, right, living on the streets and stuff like that, and they was only restricted to certain areas because they couldn't be everywhere. I know this, contrary to popular belief, foreigners did not have access to what you thought that they had access to. A lot of that stuff has been rewritten. That's why they call it Reconstruction.
Can you give them more of the history on how you felt the connection? You said, I was attracted to Wonder Woman. Why? As a child. I had the influence of the television, and I was influenced by her a lot. And you say why?
Well, because Wonder Woman, according the way they put it together, it was supposed to be empowering to women. And I'm telling you, it's going back to this right here, because they at the time, their women were the most abused. Okay, and so they wanted to have a strong, positive image of a woman, not just any woman, their woman, right? But she transcended those particular boundaries, supposedly, because she was from the Amazon, and she has a sister, an Amazonian sister, who doesn't look like her. Anyways, Morrison was married to, I forgot his first wife's name, but he was married to, it was his childhood friend. They were married. It's actually a good story because it's kind of a twist. It's kind of messed up because it's like they're practicing ancient tradition, but it's kind of like they perverted it all at the same time. So his second wife, who is named Olive Byrne. Olive Byrne is the daughter of Ethel Byrne, who is the sister of trying to think of her name. Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger.
You guys go do a little history on Margaret Sanger. Okay?
Right. So, but Margaret Sanger is not the only one that's around at the time. There's a guy by the name of Walter Pleckler also, and many other different peoples and stuff like that. But don't want to get too far away from the stories. That what was really going on is that there was a lot, because when you start really digging into the history to find out who Margaret Sanger was connected to, Ethel Byrne, Walter Pleckler's, this even get into a little bit of with Marcus Garvey and W.E.B. Du Bois.
So what effect, before you do that, what effect do you think that my watching Wonder Woman had? How did it affect me as a young woman?
Well,
because you said they were pushing the dominant.
yes.
So if I say she influenced me,
Well, don't you hear a lot of the young women today talking about that they're a dominant female. I heard a sister say not too long on this program, I think, what was that, Pop the Balloon or something like Pop the Balloon.
I love that show.
Pop the Balloon and Find Love.
The
I
young
saw
folk
the
turned
clip.
us on to a little YouTube series. It's called Pop the Balloon. Them young folk, man, they doing it. That's a great, funny show.
Yeah,
It's very contagious too.
but what I'm saying is one of the young women on there said that she was talking to her brothers, and she said, "Oh, you sound like you have a problem with a dominant woman." And the question is, why do I want a dominant woman? Why do I want a woman that's acting like a man? You know, so. But this is what Wonder Woman was. Woman was supposed to be dominant. She had a rope, right? And that rope was to dominate you, but when she grabbed around, it's supposed to make you tell the truth, right? But if you watch the movie with Professor Morrison in it, what they're doing is they're tying one another up in S&M bondage and stuff like that, and they're trying to get one another to tell about how they really sexually feel. That was the domination that they was talking about. That's
Why they had to do that at work?
at work. That's what they did. That's what they was. That was their. They was being. Not only that, but they're teaching this stuff at a college. You see what I'm saying?
But
They're
so I want you to have
experimenting.
a few highlights about Wonder Woman where they can go and do a couple of things on research, and then we're gonna go on that.
Okay, but when I finished telling you about what the domination, where it's coming from. So it was about the dominatrix, you know, pain, submission, and even narcotics and drugs and, mind control. And it was also about birth control, because why? It's connected to who? A group of eugenicists, such as Ethel Byrne and Margaret Sanger, Walter Pleckler's, so on and so on. But yeah, I mean, it won't come up because, I mean, if you just do a surface research, you know what I'm saying, sure it'll come up, and sure it will look as though when you do the research on Margaret Sanger, Margaret Sanger was doing that because there was so many of their children being born, and the mothers and the fathers was leaving them on the streets and stuff like that. So initially, her ideal in eugenics was not about us. It was about them, right? But eventually it moved on into the inner cities, into the so-called slums, particularly in Harlem. And we have a group of people that I was actually shocked to see that is connected to all this stuff right there. Now, of course, you should know what eugenics is. It's to change your people forever.
You can look it up.
Okay. So I was doing a study on something, and it goes back to several laws.
I think that's enough. They can go look it up. And then my phone can't handle a lot of heat.
All right, I'm done.
Okay, then
Yeah, I'm
we're
done.
done.
But
But remember, you guys, I said I was going to help him finish his channel so that he could have his own channel to feel free to talk about things in real deep detail. But this is who he is. He's just an avid researcher. And there's more history to Wonder Woman than probably what the average knows. That's it. Excuse you?
we're done. Right.
Hey y'all, welcome to Mama Shay's Life with Family again. I came up with a new song because I'm hanging with my peeps. But no, my song is Mama Shay's Life with Family. Mama Shay's Life with Family. I forgot. No, that ain't the one. It's another one I was going to do.
Girl, you left the door.
It was Welcome to Mama Shay's Life with Family. And by family, we mean
blood, kin, your kindred. That's what we mean.
kinfolk.
Yeah.
Kinfolk.
Family, I don't want to tell you what family actually really means, but, because, yeah, you won't understand it.
How you know what they'll understand? You
Well,
treat everybody like he's so much more
okay, so family
advanced per se.
family, familia, basically means a slave. That's what family means.
So anyway, welcome back, y'all. We don't really have a topic. I think we're just gonna bounce around for a
Well-
minute. We're gonna bounce around for a minute, and then he got some kind of good news today, but he said he don't really want to share it with nobody. But anyway, God is watching over us, and He is proving Himself to us every day, more and more.
Because I am God, yes. Not outside of me, inside of me. Inside.
Oh, how's my mic? Mic check.
No, you remember you were saying that this dress that you had on, that Maya, our third grandchild,
10-year-old
can wear your dress.
hanging with my.
And I said that dress is going to be too big for her. She said it is. I said, so she said, I bet you she can. What do you want to bet that she can? I'll bet you to read 2 books of my choice that she can't fit that dress.
What is he trying to say? That I don't have the ability to stable my mind? Like my sister laid hands on me. She said, "Stable our mind."
Nah,
Thank you, sister. I need you to come back over here and lay hands on me again. Stable our mind. Lord.
no, that's not what I'm saying. What I said is that I bet you that she can't. If she can't wear that dress, you have to read 2 books of my choice.
I'm gonna read the
Fully,
books.
all
I'm
the
gonna
way
have to
through.
read the books because I know I'm right. She's the 10-year-old. You guys can see her on the video.
Okay.
On the video to where we was doing tiny living challenge or something like that. Yeah, but
okay.
she's on here.
All right,
So
we'll see.
yeah, so that's a bet that we got going on with ourselves.
Yeah.
He's upset with me, you guys, because I didn't let him finish the Superwoman explanation after all of his detailed research and studying and making the dots connect and so on and so forth. Oh, sorry.
I'm upset with you. No, I'm not upset.
I need to post that video because you had an attitude. I might put
I'm
that
not-
video first.
I'm not upset. The thing is like I said, it's a lot of information to disseminate. However, what I had going on at the time was way more important than Wonder Woman. There were some other things that was more important, that was more pressing. So when you said that, you didn't want me to say certain things or do certain things, I'm like, oh well, fine. Shoot, I can go back to doing what I was doing.
No, it was the
You
way
know?
he said it.
Yeah.
I got you on camera. They'll
Yeah,
see
you can say whatever.
because you had an attitude.
Listen, when I said I was done, because like it's a lot. First of all, it's kind of like not giving people 360 degrees of understanding. If we're going to do something, we're supposed to be having 360 degrees of that understanding. You're supposed to get a full understanding. You got a round head, you got round eyes, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Everything is round. And so that means that you have to give a complete cycle of that understanding or that knowledge. Otherwise, you're just disseminating part knowledge. You know, like people say that they say, oh, well, you can't tell everybody everything. But the thing is that I'm not quite sure if I really believe that. Because what that means to me is that you know something, but you don't want to tell everybody the whole truth. You know, like they say in court,
Mm-hmm.
to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
So help me God.
How can they say that? Because them some of the most.
Don't
Anyways,
you do it. Don't you do it. Hey.
there's something that says that you are never supposed to mix truth and falsehood together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the man knows the truth, right? But man has chosen to give his birthright up to the wiles of this world. So therefore, he will only give you a little bit of truth mixed with the rest of it really is falsehood, which is a lie. And they in the rest of the world, society believes that this is okay. They believe that this is the way that they're supposed to do things. And according from what I say, my nature won't allow me to do that because what you're doing to me is just lying. Okay, for somebody who knows, and for you to come to them and then try to tell them certain things, and that person already know, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be sitting like, okay, go ahead on, let me, give me your spiel. But I know that you're giving me a spiel. I know that you're trying to give me a roost. So what you're doing is not going to work, and that's why it's very important for you to understand, to inform yourself, because this world out here is not going to inform you. You know what I'm saying? You have to show yourself approved, right? You proven to yourself. It's not. What I do is not about trying to prove nobody wrong. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prove myself wrong. Okay? And in that, I'm saving myself.
Can we take a minute and jump in and just say, I'm just so proud of all of the retirees in my family. And the women did they 25, 30 plus years on these jobs, got their retirement. I'm talking about, man, there must be some truth in there talking about we some strong women. Them women held that stuff down, man. Mm-hmm. And you said why they did it. Let me see if you say the same thing.
Because they ain't had no man.
What?
She ain't got no man on all. That's why they have to do it. Because most of them when they do that, because they don't got no man.
That's not a sweet way to say it.
Sorry, but those are the facts.
Sorry,
when a woman doesn't have a man, she has to make her way, or she's gonna be on the streets, or she's gonna be selling on the streets. One of the two.
I almost made that implication when I had a conversation with some people today, that would probably be the only position that would really be anything I can do. I can't really stand up long. I can't really sit long. So then I guess the other one is just laying down. What do you want me to do? Mm-hmm. I can't work anymore. Okay.
Yeah, but that's not to take away from women, because I commend them. I commend the women for doing that, because you could be what these women
celibate.
Nah, I don't mean like that. A lot of them are out here on what they call that, Instagram or whatever it is, those accounts that they got.
There's Instagram. There's what's the one where they make money, real money, like big money, millions.
I don't know what they call that.
We'll think of it at the same time, probably.
Yeah. Anyways, they're online and they're models and all that other stuff like that. You bearing your body to the world, right? But then we'll say, oh well, they got to do what they got to do, Okay,
they can only do it for so while. They might well go ahead and have fun.
No,
yeah.
No. There's ways to do things without doing that right there. If you can put your mind to doing that, you can put your mind to doing other things too. You know what I'm saying? It's called educate yourself.
Wonder Woman didn't educate herself.
Wonder Woman was educated. This is
your plug to get your Wonder Woman in.
Yeah.
Last and final.
Yeah. Wonder Woman was married to Professor Morrison, and she was a student of psychology and all that other stuff. Probably some other things, but she was no dummy. Okay? So, but, of course, like I said, Wonder Woman was about...
Dag Rabbit.
That's a little crooked.
My head crooked.
Look like we had a V8.
Oh, you need one? Some alcohol in it. Okay, we don't have much time because it's beautiful out and we love the heat, you guys. See, we all dressed in red because we're on fire.
Yeah, it's on fire. It's on fire out here. But okay, Wonder Woman, who is a supposedly a dominant woman, which is what you hear all the young ladies today talking about. You probably feel uncomfortable with a dominant woman and all this other stuff like that. Well, men are not attracted to dominant women like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless that's what his fetish is. Okay. But most of the time they're not attracted to no dominant woman. So that's what you're coming off today. These young women today don't realize how old that stuff is, right? And all this dominant woman stuff, the boss woman, who has her own, all good. It's all good. But it's about the spirit of how you operate. It's the character of how you operate. All those things are good because the scripture talks about the virtuous woman who goes out and get her own thing going and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? She has her own money. She's skillful. You know what I'm saying? She has great etiquette. She has
It's windy.
she has peace in her arms. Wherever she goes, there's peace. Flowers can grow because she's so peaceful. But most of the women today, and I'm not just going to say on women because the brothers are operating in a lot of doggone feminine energy too, right?
Don't you dare talk about the alphabet. Come here.
Um,
Act like can't nobody say nothing about the alphabet community. It's in our family. We can talk about it.
well,
Relax, you know.
well, again, you got to understand that this is where that energy came from, way back, right? Under the auspices that that pain and pleasure is what caused people to tell the truth. Okay, so that was their idea, but also you got to understand that these people were also involved into bisexuals, right? And so I don't know. I guess most people should understand, especially if you are in the church. You say you're in the church. Should I say in the Christian assembly? That the sins of the fathers and the mothers pass into the third and fourth generations, which means that thing is passing by DNA, is passing by blood. So you have to be very careful about who you get in bed with, because wherever they got, they passing it to you. Then you're gonna pass it to your children and your children's children.
That's a harsh and bitter reality, but I don't think there's no other way to sweeten it up, though. If you're going to try to sweeten it up, this just is what it is.
That's all it is. It's
But
a bitter
love who
pill.
you love, though. You can't help who you love.
Yeah, you can say that.
And then you told them before in another video, you said, well, then be careful who you love. If you can't help it, be careful.
Yeah. Oh, I can't help who I love. No, it's a choice. It's preference. Don't tell me you can't help, because it's preference. You was born with one or the other organ, right? So don't tell me that that you can't help it. You can help it. You know what it is? People like doing lewd things. They like doing things that are in the darkness, right? And then they'll try to justify it, right?
Careful.
Men and women justifying this stuff right here. So I wanted to make it clear that when you talk about Ethel Byrne and Margaret Sanger, their organizations did not start in our neighborhoods. They were brought to our neighborhoods by people who look like, right?
They were colored folks?
You better believe it.
I'm not surprised.
I'll give you one of them.
One, just one.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Oh my God.
W.E.B. Du Bois was one of us because he was involved in the eugenics, because he wanted to have the advancement, the national advancement of colored people. And you're the wrong type of colored people, right? As what was the brother's name in the Boondocks?
No.
That
I
always
like that
that always was saying, don't trust them new niggas over there. But they nigga essence in the air. Okay?
filter. Now I'm gonna have to go back and try to bleep the stuff. See, sometimes I'm just gonna let this stuff run, y'all, because it's too much work and it make no sense when I have to go in there and cut instead of paying for the word bleep to bleep every time they cuss. I'm like, stop all that
Well, I
language on
didn't
here.
cuss. I said, he said, don't trust them new niggas over there.
That's a cuss word.
Uncle Ruckus was his name. Uncle Ruckus. Ruckus was telling us about a people who is new.
Oh.
They look like me and you, but they're new. And you can't trust them. You see what I'm saying? So the advancement, the national advancement of colored people was not about what we thought or what they told us about. Those people were not that great. They were foreigners, and it was involved in eugenics, and it was trying to destroy a certain people.
So I think that is kind of the wrap up of what Wonder Woman was really about. That's
Well-
the basis of what it was all about.
Well,
If you want to get into the deep science of what we feel and how the movie was created.
so why was those people employed by Margaret Sanger? They was employed. They were working for Margaret Sanger.
Mm-hmm.
Abyssinian Baptist Church was a part of it, and now you can just follow that line, and you're gonna be surprised who was all involved in this stuff right here. And then
So it basically made us want to be independent and strong women, which is
yes,
good and bad.
that's sort of where it came from. But I wanted to say this last little thing, and I kind of lost my train of thought because probably was
Trying to get you to wind it up on the Wonder Woman, but you was talking about something else.
Well,
before. Let's out though, Wendy.
Wonder Woman again. You would be surprised how many people was connected to this because, like I said, the NAACP was all connected to this stuff like that. Who was being employed? They was employed by this woman, and they had other little things that was going on the side. All, like I said, Abyssinian Baptist Church was a part of it. The Amsterdam newspaper was ran by us. They was a
Okay.
part of it.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
Y'all probably ain't gonna want to hear all this, but it's
Well-
sad that we just really need to know sometimes.
Well,
you know?
You remember if
Can't keep sticking
see-
our head in the sand and act like this stuff wasn't like put into our faces. And what are you gonna do? That's what you got to look at.
See, that's what I'm trying to say. When you know, okay, why hide the secret or why hide the truth in falsehood? Because that's what was going on. Those are the facts. Those are the people who were involved. So we got to act like it's a secret. No wonder Dr. Sebi said that all of your leaders have betrayed y'all. All of them did.